Go ahead, Faraz.
Okay. Well, first I just wanted to point out, so I just walked in, Sean kind of explained what's going on with me. Someone said the United States and Russia are reasonable countries. I think that's the biggest, lie I've ever heard. The United States is the only country by the Security Council to be indicted for world terrorism, unnecessary use of force in Nicaragua. Reasonable, really? I mean, our foreign policy record is just filled with overthrowing of regimes which don't agree with us, including what resulted in the overthrowing of the Prime Minister of Iran in 1959. We've created this monster, and it's not fair. And you were saying about they believe we get virgins.
No, that's not what I said. I said that extremist groups sometimes they state that there is, facts that they state that in the afterlife you will receive all these great fortunes if you commit for this.
Okay, well, I just want to let you know that world terrorism as we know it is not a religious thing. The United States foreign policy has favored fundamentalism like any other. The most fundamental nation on this planet is Saudi Arabia, and they're our best, friends. We're butt buddies with them. But what we have really, shaken under and cried over is secular nationalism. I mean, look at what we did to the Jamal Abdel Nasser in the 50s with Egypt. We crushed that regime. We've done the same thing with Iran. So the fact that saying that they should not be allowed to have nuclear weapons is kind of absurd. I mean, if you're stockpiling weapons, what's going to happen? You think we are the only nation that should be allowed to protect ourselves? I think that's crap. I'm sorry, I think that's crap. That frustrates the hell out of me. Pakistan has nuclear weapons, Israel has nuclear weapons, Russia has nuclear weapons, China has nuclear weapons, and look, they all, there is so much tension between these. Honestly, if you got rid of nuclear weapons, or if you gave everybody nuclear weapons, then there would be no war. Then there wouldn't be, this idea of destroying them because they have no way to fight back. I mean, a prime example of this is the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. The Israeli government does not wish to negotiate with the Palestinians because they don't have to. When you have someone's face under your boot, why the hell are you going to negotiate with them? You don't have to. You just need to squeeze and tell them to give you what you want. And if we keep nuclear weapons, we're keeping the world underneath our boot. And that's not fair. I'm sorry.
Faraz, you made some awesome points, but I just want to also point out that while you did admit yourself that America has created these monsters virtually, putting that aside, allowing them to have nuclear weapons puts us at an extreme risk because they hate us so much. It's just the fact of the matter. So you also have to take into account the people's lives that are at stake, rather than also the political aspect being, oh, that's fair that we have all these nuclear weapons and they don't, or whatever. You have to take people's lives at stake before you really think about that. I agree with you completely. We have created these monsters. We've created monsters in Russia. We've created monsters in Afghanistan, Iran. All of these people are due to America's wrongdoing. So you kind of have to take both sides into account. You can't just say, all right, let's just give them these nuclear weapons because it's fair, while there's a million lives at risk.
One quick question for Haya, that's it. If you're talking about saving lives of people and how America should police the world and not take away the nuclear capabilities of Iran, first off, as Kyle had pointed out, they're also using this for chemotherapy and other good reasons. But let's put that to the side. Why haven't we taken away any nuclear powers from Israel? I mean, they're killing people, innocent people that sit at home every single day.
I didn't mention Israel.
So I don't believe that it should be based on this fake ideology that they're going to attack America right off the bat. No.
It's not a fake ideology.
Guys, okay. Rules. First off, if you have a point to refute or ask a question regarding the speaker, raise your hand first. I'll be checking. After 3 seconds, then other people who want to speak as a subsequent speaker may raise their hands. Furthermore, if someone is speaking, please don't interrupt them. Even if you do have a refutation, you can raise your hand after they finish speaking. Haya, Kyle, that does pertain to everyone.
You did Kyle?
Yeah, he coughed earlier very rudely. Anyways.
Like that, right there.
No, you can't have 20 hands. They're going to take
Right. Yes.
I have a solution to your problem. It came down to your problem, both of your argument. Back in the Cold War, a military strategy called MAD came to existence. It's called mutually assured destruction, where if one country launches at least one nuclear missile at another country, they respond with equal or greater force. So even if Israel did have nuclear weapons and they launched one, they know that we'd launch more and wipe Tehran off the face of the earth, which would prevent the capital of Iran. Which would keep them from launching any nuclear weapons at us, and the U.S. does have anti-ballistic missiles, so the point is...
Once again, please stop interrupting the speaker. I don't care if he said Tehran incorrectly, so...
Yes, we're all American here. None of us... Yeah.
Everyone's beating around the bush here. America's the only one who has used a nuclear weapon in this whole world. And you guys are all saying, oh, Iran. Iran has no threat against America. Their only threat is Israel. So, first off, you guys haven't done any of your calculations. The longest nuclear missile right now is 2,500 kilometers. That's about 3,500 miles, which is a range of here in New York. So we don't even have to worry. Iran doesn't have no allies that they could... Canada's not their ally. They're not going to put a nuclear bomb in Canada, all right? So you guys are all whining about it. I'm completely for Faraz. What the hell? America's the only one who's allowed to have nuclear powers. You see what they did to Japan? Not one, two, though. And they're still having the effects. What did Japan have? They were scared of Hiroshima and all that. They were scared they were going to do that. No, they were... America's the biggest... I don't want to say it. Just saying. Iran, whoever has the capability for nuclear weapons, good or bad, they should be allowed to have them. It's only our duty to make sure they don't do anything with them. They could have them. I could have a gun. I'm not going to do anything with it, am I?
Would anyone like to respond to Chad?
Okay, I just want to ask you, I want to ask you a question.
Please respect speaker.
You said the longest nuclear weapon is 2,500 miles?
Explosion radius.
2,500
kilometers, and that's in the world, or that's just of Iran?
No, that's in the world. India's testing for a new one.
Well, there's the, intercontinental ballistic missile, which actually goes up in space and comes down. So
That's a missile, not nuclear weapon.
well, I don't know.
Hey, stop interrupting the speaker.
Anyways, all right. I just wanted to clear that up.
Let
But
him make his point.
besides that, though, I want to address what Faraz said. He said that I said that Russia and the United States were reasonable powers. Maybe you're right. Maybe they're unreasonable powers, and I do agree that the United States kind of gets a little testy around the world. But they may be unreasonable, but they are predictable. Okay, and we're badasses. We go over there in Iran, and we go to Baghdad, and we go in there. That's predictable because we like going and invading countries. That's predictable, But all right. You said you also said the metaphor of give not a metaphor, but I want to raise the metaphor of give everyone a gun in a room. Does that make it necessarily safer? It's like giving everyone a nuke in the world. Oh yeah, we're all safe. We're pointing guns at each other, so don't shoot. I won't shoot. Where's that? Where's the the factuality in that? And I think there's other ways besides nuclear weapons, besides giving everyone a nuclear weapon to keep the world safer. And if you give Iran a nuclear weapon, they're not going to be like, oh yeah, I understand. I won't shoot it. No, because I'm reasonable. No, they're not reasonable.
Alright, you guys all wanted to...
Let him go. He hasn't spoken yet.
Well, Faraz was actually directly addressed, so
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you speak after Faraz.
Okay, what I just wanted to say was that I said the United States is not reasonable, but what I really meant was the United States is a terrorist nation. I'm sorry, let's put it out there. The United States is a terrorist nation. We have gone into, we've supported dictators in the Middle East. We've supported bloodshed all over the world. In Malaysia, when the president massacred 750,000 people, the West, the government officials were in euphoria about it. Clinton said, "This is our man." We're afraid that Tehran is unreasonable. The reality is, if you don't put economic sanctions, you don't kill their children like we did with 5 million infants in Iraq because of our sanctions in '98, then maybe we don't have to deal with such widespread violence. Maybe if we went the right way, maybe in 2001 when we were attacked in 9/11, we went to the Security Council like we should have, and we said we want investigations and we want to catch the proper people. And maybe if we caught the perpetrators, we had evidence and we tried them, maybe then we wouldn't need to deal with this. Maybe then we could be deemed reasonable enough to have nuclear weapons so the rest of the world doesn't. But the reality is, we went to 2 different nations, we overthrew their governments, one for, nothing. I mean, Saddam Hussein didn't have mass weapons of destruction. What did we think? Yeah, we were all convinced we had it. He had it. Are we reasonable? You just identified, you just justified the fact that we go into other nations and we kill people and that's okay because we're predictable. Well, we're not predictable. I mean, our record is scary. We've been a nation for I think 250 years over so. We've been at war for 215 of them. We're the most violent nation in the world. I think if anyone should be under sanctions and whose nuclear weapons should be taken away is the United States. Now, another thing I wanted to say was, Haya, you were right. It's people's safety is in danger. We need to be careful with nuclear weapons. We can destroy ourselves within a minute. But the thing is that maybe if we didn't put Iran under such, hard economic sanctions, maybe if we let them sell their oil, maybe if we let them be a country and, allowed them the right to self-determination, we could have avoided this. Maybe we don't have to, freak over other countries having nuclear weapons with diplomacy. What happened with Pakistan? 2001, the West was freaking out over the fact that Pakistan had weapons, nuclear weapons. I mean, we had them sanctioned. Guess what? 2003 rolls around, they're our buddies because we needed them for our ventures in Afghanistan. Diplomacy works. It works, and if you use it, you don't need to worry about, nuclear weapons. You don't need to worry about giving other people nuclear weapons or having nuclear weapons for yourself. All you need to worry about is working through this. That's how you save lives. Not by saying you can't have nuclear weapons because you might hurt my friends. That's all
In the interest of time, please keep your speeches under 2 minutes. Please, I will be interrupting you and canceling your speech at some point.
Okay, so I just want to address Chad's metaphor of if we all have a gun. Like, the weight of having a nuclear weapon is much greater than a gun, so I don't think you can compare the two.
Don't interrupt the speaker, yeah.
But even metaphorically, like, having a gun, you have the ability to kill, like, maybe 1 or 2 people, but having a nuclear weapon, not only do you have a massive geological effect, you have radiation going everywhere. The consequences of dropping a nuclear bomb are massive, which is why, since the 2 we dropped, no one has dropped any, because the geological, the terrorist implications, because the nuclear bomb is basically like a terrorist weapon where you're wiping out all these, and it's not just the people who are affected by the bomb, it's people who are affected by the radiation, and they don't know what's safe anymore because their water supplies are infected, their soil is infected with all this poisons, with the poison from the bomb, which is why everybody is so scared to use another one, which brings you back to the point where Iran should be allowed to have one, because even if they do use one against us, we have so many allies that we decimate Iran. And if we decimate Iran, that would be even more consequence geologically and environmentally, because if you knock out a whole nation with nuclear weapons, all that radioactive dust is going to spread around the whole world. So there's so many consequences of using nuclear weapons that people are afraid to use them as it is.